have said that there's going to be no boots on the ground, but then there seem going to be plans to at least put a limited number of boots on the ground in order to secure part of the southern coast, so that we could reduce the sort of number of sites that can easily hit the Strait of Hormuz. So basically the plan, I think, I mean, I'm not an expert, but it just seems to me that the plan is to shift the sort of drone and missile scientists that Iran is using to hit the Strait of Hormuz, shift that up into Iran by several hundred kilometers, so that it can actually be managed in terms of defending it. Because if you're on British Island and the Strait of Hormuz is right underneath you, then obviously in the time you will keep it very precise. If you're hundreds of kilometers away from it, then that obviously makes it a lot more of an accurate, successful hit. So that's how it seems to me. But again, it's just the willpower needs to be there. First of all, the second thing that's really needed is the backing of the psychology of the nation, if you like. Those are the things that are also the comprehensive needed. I think that's where I give my thoughts.
So you asked a couple of questions. I'm going to take a stab at answering them. And let me see how this fits from your perspective. One potential answer is that the president's end game is a deliberate, covert effort to align through U.S. global influence, because, as you point out, Iran wants us out of the region, Russia wants us out of the region so that they can move in. Leave that question lingering in as a potentiality. Most of the people who have analyzed all this, such as the Council on Foreign Relations and others, are saying, no, Gary, that's not a possibility. That this is a classic case of strategic miscalculation, ideological friction, and entrapment into yet more. So while the consequences of this conflict may inadvertently serve the interest of Moscow and Tehran, most of the assessments that I've read about it, because this is a question that's been burning at me, you have some kind of an intentional accord, so to speak. So I looked at an analysis in Foreign Affairs, which is a publication of the Council on Foreign Relations. And that analysis suggests that when the president initiated the war early this year, he had an aggressive pressure strategy. And he assumed, perhaps not perhaps based on the facts on the ground, that these massive airstrikes and the assassination of Khamenei would trigger a rapid collapse of the regime or force an immediate surrender. Well, that didn't happen. We know that instead of collapsing, Iran dug in. Others, Andrew mentioned, they've adapted their tactics. They choked off the Strait of Hormuz. And so the administration now is forced itself into a reactive military cycle with no clear exit. I don't know which one of those analyses fits best with you, Amir. The first one seems like the simple answer. That's a pretty onerous suggestion. Maybe it's wrong.
But, I mean, I'm not really into the sort of, conspiracy theories as such, which the first one kind of leans towards a little bit. But on the second one, I actually think it's a heck of a lot is at stake. I think between East and West, is at stake here. I think the Strait of Hormuz will determine how America, who's the leader of the Western world, is going to be seen, and subsequent to that, the entire Western world, if you like, is going to be seen. So the relation, the dynamics between the East and West will change if America decides to throw in the towel. We have absolutely no doubt about that. I don't know what you think about that, Gary.
I think it would be horrific if the United States threw in the towel, but I am in a minority, Amir. I out, and others have before you. You can't win a war, you can't prosecute a war without the support of the populace. And this war was never sold to the American people. Hell, it wasn't even sold to the members of Congress. Hell, it wasn't even sold to members of Congress. And the contradictory commentary from the president, and as I pointed out earlier, they're now saying, oh, the prices at the pump, they're going to plummet once we reopen the Strait of Hormuz, but the president claims the Strait of Hormuz is open. So, I've been taking it on the chin, quite frankly, Amir, in my social media postings, simply posting a statement made by the president. People just attack me left, right, and center. I'm not doing my job as a journalist because I'm not pointing out to people that the president lies every time he opens his mouth. If you just say what the president is stating when he posted social accurately, nobody's saying that I'm misstating or misrepresenting what the president says. Well, hell, I might as well be his press secretary because I'm carrying his water. People are not ready to buy in to this war because they do not like the commander-in-chief. I think that's my thumbnail analysis of it, Amir.
Yeah, I mean, I fully understand the frustration that you have, and your job. I mean, obviously, the last time we spoke, you were equally frustrated when I said don't take much notice of what presidents say. And you said, how can I not? And I said, you're absolutely right there. But then you have to look at the trajectory of what he does or the events on the ground and see where that is leading. For me, if it was going to throw in the towel, why the hell would it knock down dozens of bridges feeding to the south of the country? I mean, that's just obvious. It's a very obvious question. By the way, nobody calls this a war anymore, which is quite interesting. I mean, they're fighting people and all the rest of it. There are about 100 lorries now stuck at the bottom end of Iran. They delivered goods and they want to bring back fuels. They're filled up with fuels and now they're stuck because all these bridges have been destroyed. So it's obviously affecting the livelihood of thousands of people, and not to mention people who are losing their lives. And yet nobody calls this a war because they don't want, I don't know why war, by the way, because it would benefit them if they did call it a war, because it would effectively increase the prices in the West for oil. And I would have thought that's their advantage, but maybe because of the internal politics that they don't want to call it a war. But I can understand your frustration. But at the end of the day, they have to make a decision on the fundamentals here at a high level. Okay, it didn't work out. There was a miscalculation. It's a bit like me going down the road. Okay, I hit a dead end. What do? Do I turn around and come back home? Well, maybe not. Maybe I look at Google Map and I find another way. And I think that's where we are.
I would suggest to you, Amir, that was your first mistake. You looked at Google Maps. Why can't we pull out a Rand McNally any longer? People don't know how to read maps. Thanks, Amir. Sin, I guess you get the last word.
No, so I thought And so the news about the Houthis threatening Saudi Arabia
Yes, yes.
cut off the Red Sea, and I'm like, what's going on there? Like, if these are the two major chokeholds, right? So a lot of the oil that leaves the Middle East get blocked by the Strait of Hormuz, which goes to the Asia, and then the chokehold for is the Red Sea. So combined together, we're looking at 30 to 40% of all the world trade. Actually, to be honest with you, it's more than that, but that's what the official numbers are. But I feel like without oil, it has a ripple effect on every other thing, right? Like, oil is a basis of every economy, at least fossil fuel, that is. So, is Trump not capable of getting that deal that he wanted? And why are we not looking at and anticipating this move by the Houthis, and what do you do as policy should be going forward? Because I don't know if two major strings or choke points of the world uh, affected is going to be a good thing for any economy. And as not a citizen, but as a person that's engaged in the economy of the world, should we worry about another major economic downturn because of this?
So, the Houthis, as we all know, are rebels in Yemen, and they are controlled and financed by Iran. So this is a front that's being opened by Iran. They're putting a greater squeeze because they see that the petrol flow and is a choke point politically for the United States. So they have declared today an immediate and total naval blockade against Saudi Arabia. Do they have the capability of doing this? I don't know, but that's what they declared. So at the very least, they have opened a dangerous new front, expanding the war, and I will call it a war. So it was a televised video statement by the Houthi military spokesman announcing this maritime embargo under the equation of an eye for an eye. The move is direct retaliation for the Saudi siege on Yemen and the recent coalition airstrike targeting Sana'a International Airport. So it places critical global energy corridors under a double squeeze now. And I don't know, I'm not a student of history to that degree, and I know the term unprecedented is tossed around cavalierly, but I do not believe that there's been such a double squeeze before. So you're absolutely right in your analysis, Sin. Personally, since I think one of the biggest mistakes in all of this was the president's failure to put together a coalition of the willing before going in. I don't know what he was thinking. We do not have Europe behind us, even though Europe is being impacted by all of this. It has to do with his derogatory remarks toward NATO. Could he have affected the NATO allies paying their fair share and tried self-protection without embarrassing them on the world stage in the manner in which he did? I don't know. And maybe it was a necessary tool and an effective one, his version of the art of the deal, to get them off their rear ends to do what they needed to do. So at least what occurred as a result of this, I guess, could be chalked up as a success of his administration. But the flip side of that is, what was the cost? And the cost, I believe, for what it's worth, I'm not an expert to agree, but for what it's worth, I believe the cost is he alienated them so badly that there was no way he could go and ask for another coalition of the willing. Because if he had done it and had been turned down, he would have been embarrassed, and that would have made him a loser. And we know this president doesn't like losers.
So, can I be fair in your judgment and assessment?
I hope
I'm
you
just
are.
saying you're wrong. I think those are weaknesses that could be attributed to the current president, but wasn't it Biden who stopped the Saudi Arabia finishing the job to get rid of the Houthis back in, if I'm not mistaken, in 2018 or prior to that, with Saudis, UAE, and all the Middle East countries? First, I think under, I don't know if it was Biden or Trump was in presidency, but the Saudis and the UAE and the Gulf Coalition had taken up the mantle in dismantling the Houthi threat, right? And the Biden administration put pressure on Saudi to and the UAE to stop that war, which now we're paying for. So could it be fair to Trump, but the past two U.S. presidents have not done their due diligence in really foreseeing what is now what we're experiencing?
So most of the analysis on that would suggest that President Biden never had a realistic military or political opportunity to use your term, eliminate the Houthis. Was never an option on the table because they're deeply entrenched. They're 200,000 strong, and they control territory housing 80% of Yemen's population. So, without going to war against Yemen, how do you do that? The Republican Party has suggested repeatedly that, and some Democrats have as well, that Biden did a series of strategic calculations and policy shift opportunities to contain the group, and that emboldened them. But to suggest that he had the ability to eliminate the Houthis, military analysts, not me, but most military analysts would say no.
No, I agree. I mean,
I'll get to you, Glow. We go one at a time here. Go ahead, Seth. You gotta wait. It's your turn.
So no, I agree with you. It's porous mountains, hard to attack, but there was no outwardly support for the Middle East and Saudi Arabia coalition that was trying to remove the Houthis from power. I don't think the U.S. was involved, nor the European Union. And to be honest with you, and hindsight is 2020, but the Iranians bragged that they have control of 2 choke points of the world and that they got the world in their hands. They were bragging that they were the superpower who could do all this.
Right.
And we did nothing about it.
So here's the
We
thing.
did nothing about it.
All of these problems, the ones that you are talking about, the terrorist attacks, October the 7th, all of that could have been avoided had this regime not been in power. And I was predisposed to eliminating the regime, but the strategy failed. And now we are where we are today. And along the way, he didn't gain support from the Europeans, which might have helped. And he didn't sell it to the American people, which certainly hurt. That's my analysis anyways for what it's worth thinking.
I would love to continue after they're done.
I wanted to share just some news from Yemen. There's a new armed faction. It's called the Free Yemen Movement, and it has declared an uprising against the Houthis from inside Sana'a. We announced the Houthi movement from within Sana'a due to the crimes committed by Iran and the Houthis. This uprising comes in response to the Houthi starvation, looting, theft, and killing of their violation of, Yemen's sovereignty and the implementation of Iranian directives. Just that.
Okay, I don't know about this new use of the term Free Yemeni movement. The Free Yemen movement was actually the Free Yemeni movement. It's called Al-Ahrar, is that right? Do I say it right? That's an historical, I don't know anything about this new Free Yemen movement. I'd love to know more. So message me and tell me what you know. William, and I think we'll have time to go back to Sen.
I came up to said that the United States is the leader of the Western world. That's no longer the case. The United States is the wealthiest country in the Western world. The United States has the most powerful military of any single country in the Western world by far. But the United States has, as you were saying, Gary, broken their alliances. They've other NATO members like Canada or the Kingdom of Denmark threatening Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. The United States has changed from being the lead country within NATO to being the vendor to NATO. So the United States is no longer the leader, and part of that is really the Western world. The alliances are largely held together on economics and an ideological commitment towards democratic governance based on ideas of liberal democracy. And in this administration, upon the economic relationships with our allies, and there's been an attack on the national security, direct national security attacks on NATO allies, and the rest of the world is watching. Everybody sees this. People are paying attention that lead other countries. It's given a lot of uncertainty about our leadership and with our relationships with the East Asian countries. When we turn on our NATO allies, how does Japan or South Korea look at it? Well, yeah, Trump did get everybody to arm up, and Europe is increasing its military expenditures. Throughout Europe, basically the countries most close to Russia are spending the most, and Japan has changed their constitution, and they are increasing their military expenditures by a lot. South Korea is getting ready for war, probably not doing it as seriously as they could, but they, all of our Western allies, the democratic allies that we had, are no longer looking to the United States for leadership, and they're beginning to look at forming new relationships, new alliances, and basically trading around us economically to the extent that they can. We're a huge economic powerhouse. We've got the biggest economy of all of them, and they can't avoid us entirely, but they've been switching over to locally produced weapons systems to the extent that they can upon the United States. Take a look at the European stocks, and take a look at what's going on in Japan and South Korea. There is a lot of increased investment, and the goal of that increase in investment by the way we have attacked our alliance is less reliance upon the United States. So maybe Trump thought, oh, I'll beat up on all these countries like a mafia boss, and I'll get them to all kowtow and you know, buy more weapons from the United States. And to some extent, he's been correct. They have. And to a large extent, they have been diversifying away from us, and we have lost the trust of our former along of the leaders. So I think that's important to recognize and understand.
Thank you, William. We'll go to Sid, followed by Amir.
Right. So, no, great stuff. Great stuff. So, I think, Greg, you might appreciate my use of this word. America's been going through not a civil war, right? Where the Democrat and the Republicans are not in the same page regarding where America's future lies, right? So we're suffering from that, right? And the world is seeing that, hey, they're not united, division, and different political groups around the world will buy off a political organization against each other in order to. So like the empire, for all intents and purposes, is dying, right? And that's not a bad thing. America should have never been an empire. America fought off colonialism, built its wealth and its status by not oppressing other countries, but within its own. Unlike the British Empire or the French or the other European empire, so we're not good at this as Americans, right? We're not great at being imperial power and being world leader, and we should have never been involved in that. It's just the haphazard of what happened in World War II with the British and the Germans. So historical context, I would say that with great power comes responsibility, and we are responsible in how the world is going to be. We have a stake to play. Now, I think it's easy for us to just simply blame Trump, but I think he's reactionary, right? So he's reacting towards what he sees as a threat to what it is American power. And he's pressured the Europeans to take more action. We don't want to put boots on the ground. You got to beg us. You got to do all that. And maybe he lost patience. And maybe he should have been more patient, right? But the thing is, whatever it is, we're entering a multipolar world where power and structure are not only situated in one area of the world. Western power. The Chinese are coming up. The Russians have a role. So, and we have to be realistic. And I think Trump is the only realistic man out there right now. Not to say that the way he handled business is correct. And I think he takes decisions off the cuff rather than having a more well thought out policy. But he's dealing with the situation that the world is. We have to get over the center of power is no city. There are many centers of power, and this is going to continue for a very long period of time. And right now, who's hurt the most with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is either China or Asian countries. Who's going to be hurt the most with the Red Sea Strait, Bab el-Mandeb being closed? Europe and North Africa. All the wealth is accumulated, right? So who should be more responsible? It's the people that have a stake. America is a self-contained, insulated the world. We don't have a lot to lose here. The rest of the world do. And I think it's going to wake them up and take more responsibility that this type of action by the Iranians and the rebels in Houthi in Yemen, those are not contributing to a betterment of the world. They're not the group of people we want to see have a say in how this earth survives the next hundreds of years. We're not a best example. We do a lot of crazy stuff and selfish stuff. I get it, but it's much better than the ideas of those countries. So right now, I think instead of blaming Trump and blaming America, the Europeans and the Asian countries need to wake up and see the path forward with games and get rid of the Houthis. And I think um, the Houthis are the bigger threat to European wealth, and they should wake up and do something about it rather than complaining that Trump is not the greatest guy. He's done this, he's done that to us. No, now wake up and do what you need to do, which is to secure the Belt and Road, which is a choke point for what 10-20% of the world trade. And also, let's also keep in mind is diverted all their oil resources to the Red Sea, and they need to come out through the Belt and Road to go out there to Asia, right? So not only Belt and Road is important to Europe, it's also now important to Asia as a choke point. So rather than saying Trump did this, he broke this, let's move on. Let's figure out the way forward. Get rid of. Like I said before, the Biden administration put a lot of pressures on the Saudis and forced them to stop their operation. If they had continued to do their operation by now, the Houthis would have been gone. And what else did we do not to support the Saudi coalition or the UAE coalition? So we're paying for the past political mistake of the Democrats, as well as the now mistakes that the Republicans have made under Trump. It's a sticky situation, but we got to move forward because the world economy right now is under threat, and that affects all of us here and everyone around the world. You know, the blame game is over. What are we gonna do about this? This is my concern, Gray.
Thank you, Sin. I've got some breaking news.
Gary. Sorry, I'd say Gray.
It's okay. I've got some breaking news that's directly related to today's discussion. The Pentagon now says nearly 100 U.S. troops have been injured in the last 2 weeks of the Iran war. The disclosure follows in today that the Defense Department was withholding from the American people casualty figures. A report that the Pentagon attacked is inaccurate. And then suddenly they release these figures. So nearly 100 injured in the last 2 weeks of the Iran war. Amir, followed by Matthew.
Just very quickly with regards to what William said, I tend to agree with a lot of points, but it has to be seen in the context of Trump window in the US. I mean, the US is much, much bigger than Trump. And that's something that often gets confused. I mean, from, for example, the UK perspective, US is still, as far as, we do the largest trade with the US, and we heavily rely on US on the military side of things with NATO and the rest of it. And I think, to be honest with you, Trump, kicking gas of the EU countries is not a bad thing. It has kind of paid off in terms of, their defense spending and so on, which needed to be done because it was just a bit ridiculous. I think all US citizens would agree that it was only the UK that was really, and France perhaps, that was paying the 2.5% at the time. Nobody else was really reaching that point, and they should do. And now they are doing and going beyond, which is a good thing. So those are the two things. And one other point which William made, which I thought was actually to some extent was answering his own questions, and that was that the fact that it's not just about the trade or the military. It's also about the system of governance. It's about values, about democracy, liberalism, and multi-party democracy, and everything else. And I think in all of those, we are on the same line, and definitely. In many of those aspects, US is leading, and I'm talking about US, including the window of the Trump, but well beyond and above.
Thank you, Amir. Matthew, followed by Alyssa.
Hey guys. Yeah, man, I don't know. The war is expanding. Try to just go back to the topic of the room, but even if it expands, when I think of the Straits of Hormuz, for me, it's kind of like trying to come to the Gulf of Mexico and controlling the Gulf of Mexico, like the ships coming in and out of the Gulf of Mexico or something like that. Like the Straits of Hormuz, like that is, and it's very thin, and Iran just needs like basically the smaller the better. The smaller the boats that they use to mess things up in the straits, and the more the drones they have, like they don't even need to like blow anything up. They just need to like deny safe passage, right? So I just don't see any solution except for like leaving the straits, and then Iran may reopen it, and I think that's actually what's going to happen. I think there's going to be some negotiations in about 2 or 3 weeks. There'll be more bombing, negotiations. The U.S. Navy will pull back, and the straits may open again. And then Trump might go back to bombing it, and then the Iranians will close it again by simply creating threats. I just don't see I just don't see any solution to it. It's back. It's very easy to mess around with. It's classic. Like, you know what it reminds me of is well, during like the Revolutionary War, where the British troops would get off of their boats and they would like all line up in one line, the American rebels, right? And the American rebels would be picking off redcoats by hiding behind trees. That's exactly what's happening in Iran. You know, it's just classic. It's classic. What do you call that? Guerrilla warfare. You know, it's asymmetrical warfare, and the geography allows the IRGC to win this fight. I don't think it's possible at all. Is it expanding? Maybe some troops might get dropped off in a couple of places in Iran to look for the nuclear material. But again, you know, I think now there's Iran to programs, you know, because they probably see it as a kind of regime survival now. So I think this whole thing is going backwards. So going.
Thank you, Matthew. Alyssa, followed by Dude.
Real quick. So, Iran, I think, well, I know I can see it. Like Trump doesn't want to hurt the non-radical people of Iran. But he started something that is not going to finish, because they are, you know how their oil was overflowing? They had to get rid of it somehow, and you know who's buying it from? I mean, people will just turn on the news, or just, I don't know, open their text, they'll see their one of their allies, China, is helping them, and Russia is supplying them with more stuff, and they never got that dust out, and so they're still creating nukes. So I don't think this is going to end quickly, and I wish like someone, I don't know if anyone here is from England, but like if they could explain what is actually happening, because it's kind of gotten to them quicker, because I mean they're over in Europe and other countries in Europe. I don't know facts, but just what I've heard of it, and it happened. Um, and yeah, I wish Trump would have listened to all of the many retired generals that kept saying you cannot, which is obvious now, you cannot negotiate with these people. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Iran is actively attempting to rebuild and restore its damaged nuclear infrastructure. We don't know the extent of its success. There's a lot of debating about that, but I think there's universal belief that that is exactly what's going on. Dude, you get the last word.
Well, I'll just say that I hope that it doesn't expand, but it does seem to be a situation that the world is currently facing. Trade corridors matter. There are probably other trade corridors that are being worked on building. Africa, continent rich in resources. Russia and China and America are probably looking at different economic and trade agreements that will either dissipate.
You cut yourself off there, dude. Mid-sentence. Go ahead, try it again. Apparently he's got a technical issue. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock New York time. So till 5 o'clock New York time tomorrow for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum. And peace out.
shared place with equal access to citizen and non-citizen alike. That is a place.
I will open a room now. I will open a room. If rules, no problem. I will open a room.
How's it going? Doing all right, man. Good to see you. Long time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, they're useful. I've never had a problem getting a PDF from an author ever, but
It's about society, though. That's not a prediction. I can sit there and say, yeah, in the next 250 years, there's going to be a war between this country and that country, and the chances that I'm right are significantly high, especially with how fucking countries operate. You're making blanket statements about society. You're saying, oh my God, that's the correct.
And he talks about water being one of those things that he brought into existence. We're not disputing that.
What are you saying?
The statement that God is making in the Quran, that God is revealing to us,
I understand.
right, is that,
What?
right, all living things, all living things in order.
What is it? What's he saying?
This is,
These people, I mean,
and this
What's
is
God
why
saying?
my title, y'all will
Tell me what he's saying.
Neanderthals.
Yeah, right. What's he saying?
This is what they are. Look how they behave. Like Neanderthals.
Okay, tell me what he's saying.
It's
Right?
not just
Tell
the
me
white.
what God's saying in this book, in the Quran, the newer book. What's he saying? Tell me about it again.
It's so easy, even the case.
But all living things are created from water.
That's what he said. All living
Well,
things are created from water.
well, you recite the verse directly, so that I
You're
don't miss.
saying that evolution is.
Yeah, I'll pull the verse up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you believe in evolution then,
No,
basically.
no, no, no.
What do you mean?
I would
Well,
never
that's
know.
what
Don't
evolution
speak
says.
for my belief. You don't have to speak
Well,
for my belief.
evolution
Let me
says.
tell you like this. This is a police stop.
Well,
Okay.
that's what evolution
You don't.
says.
Let me tell you like this. You
Yeah,
do
but that's what
not.
evolution
Okay. Well, if
says.
evolution says it, right? Show me that
So you just
prior
agree
to
with
the Quran. Quran, because that was the argument.
Sure.
That was my statement. Yeah.
Well, no,
Show
sure.
me any literature prior to the Quran that stated this.
Oh, I would say I already told you Genesis says
No,
it all.
it does not say
Water
that.
was
We already
present
went over
first.
that. We're not talking about God creating water. We know God is the creator of all things. That's what Genesis is stating, okay? When water came into
And it-
existence. We're not
and it
talking about when water
pre-existed
came into
life.
existence. No, absolutely not. The dependency of water and the creation of the
Yeah, there
human
was
beings
no
is what
life.
we're actually,
It's a dark void.
that's what we're speaking about. The dependency,
With water.
the
It was a
dependency
dark
of
void.
water. And guess what?
Like
There's
a
and
child.
other things created
Versus
before
their
water, right? And earth was still earth with life.
Yeah, so it's just
With
the same
life,
thing.
even
It's
in
just different
Genesis, earth was
symbolic
earth
thought.
with life without
Yours
the
is
water.
the newer
But
stuff.
God stated, but look
I'm not
at
gonna
this, and this is why you all will regret.
Talk with Rocco.
Okay.
Let's listen to something. Look at the sky for a lot. Didn't see any birds laying up there. And cloud of flies that are eating my wound. Like a painful one, I feel like. See, there's like a fly on there, and look, and it'd be like, yeah, and it'd be like two of them even.
I seek refuge with Allah from Shaitania curse. Do the unbelievers not realize that the heaven and the earth used to be one solid mass, that we exploded into existence, and from water we made all living leave?
I don't know who said we exploded into existence. I don't really think so. Hey Ray, you're hot micing, so that's to be expected. So you guys are just arguing for evolution when you say that.
No, we're not arguing on behalf of evolution.
Why not?
We're arguing on behalf that
Well,
there's
how else
no
does God
God
do it?
but
How else
God.
does God do it?
What?
How else does God do it?
How else does God do what?
Do the life that we see on the.
You said how by repeating it,
He doesn't use evolution.
by repetition.
He He doesn't use evolution.
By repetition.
Yeah, that's part
Because
of evolution.
you shouldn't believe in evolution because if you saying that they were able, hold on, it wouldn't be evolution. It wouldn't be evolution, right? By your own admission, right? You said that it was admission. It was either you or Mark.
No,
I don't know which one was talking, but right, it wouldn't be considered evolution when you agree to the notion that there was literature written and it was people able to discover certain things back then, right? That wouldn't be evolution, would it? If today, right,
Yeah.
how would humanity evolve if the same things back in the day they have this reign today? That wouldn't be evolution.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to. Can you give me an example?
You said it. You literally said, what were we talking about? We were talking about, what point did I bring?
I don't know. I don't know what you hear. Cause
No. That was his point, evolution.
You talk
okay?
really loud.
So basically, well, turn your phone down. We have options. Remember, God never move our choice. But anyway, he was talking about, he mentioned evolution, right? And he said we believe in evolution. I said, well, by his own admission, right? Because earlier he brought up when we mentioned the water thing, right? When we mentioned the verses in the Quran, the sign of the water, right? He brought up this was written in Genesis, so whatever, right? And I'm saying absolutely not. This wasn't written in Genesis, right? This is something that later that was proof evolution, rather than him saying, "Oh, what was this? What they did then is what they're doing today." That wouldn't be evolution because they're not evolving. It's nothing evolved. It's the same shit from the past into the future.
What are you talking about?
Sure, you can ask now.
You don't take a lot of meds during the day, dude. You usually just take a.
If we're exactly, if there's evolution, why are things staying the same? By your admission, things are the same based upon you saying, "Oh yeah, we're talking about a new phenomenon. You're talking about something of the past. You're talking about something of the past." Yeah. That you had that information back then. That wouldn't be evolution.
Who had it? Who
You're
had
so
what?
smart, you're
Who had
stupid.
what information?
Say that again.
I just don't know what you're fighting about. Like, what are you fighting against?
I don't know what you're fighting. You said that.
All I said is you're arguing for evolution. That's all I said.
No, you're arguing on behalf of evolution.
Yeah, I am.
We agree with you about evolution. You said we agree with you. Sure, we're not arguing on behalf of evolution. We're not arguing on behalf of evolution.
Are you sad
Sure. Does the world evolve? Absolutely. Are you sad that there is a God and that your homosexual ass or pedophile ass will be held to account? Or whatever you're doing? Only people who don't believe in God, respectfully, are the worst amongst society. So, most detestable things, the detestable things.
Yeah, you want me to show you the data?
Detestable things. Well, let's show the data about how more white Americans are atheists. Let's show the data on that.
Did you know that it's mostly white Christian men that are
It's more.
Did you know that fact?
Well, theirs are reported, right? Because people don't go around saying, "Yeah, I'm an atheist." People don't go around saying, "Yeah, I'm an atheist." They believe it when they fucking rape somebody or when they fucking look at child porn. They don't go around saying, "I'm an atheist. This is why I looked at it." So of course it's going to be reported more. I know you dummy. Of course it's going to be reported more as far as churches and all of this stuff because they allegedly supposed to be Christians.
You gotta keep them
whatever.
Longer.
The fuck? Nobody is going to be like, "I'm an atheist and I rape somebody." It's dumb as shit.
Keep dropping sometimes.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Hi, Ray. I'm happy to be here in the name of God. I joined the house. Thanks for having me, Ray.
No problemo, huh?
Based on your reasoning, you would be arguing, in fact, for evolution, based on your reasoning. That's okay.
Hi, Ray. I've heard Honey Badger in other rooms, and he doesn't really say anything intelligent. He kind of just like does this put down game, but doesn't actually say anything. He doesn't state any facts or any opinions. He kind of just like comes into rooms and just doesn't really say anything. Thank you for leading the room. All praise God. Death to the atheists. They are low IQ. They are lonely, bored people, and I feel bad for them that they don't like to read books and they just come onto a conference call app to make their self-esteem, feel better.
Thank you, Progressive. I appreciate your input. I'm gonna chew on that and see if I can become better. We gotta hear that ding and that triangle in the background. I don't know, what would you call it? Philosophers, maybe? Or what do you consider Alan Watts? Ray, isn't that true? You love Alan Watts? Anybody who really is motivated, they take care about what knowledge is, how to obtain it, how to get more of it, how to think about it critically. Anybody who does that would be, by definition, a philosopher. It's just the dedication and the love for wisdom.
I love wisdom, and I read books. Many people in this room probably do not. But I was just reading about a German idea, Engels, and collectivists and socialists, and the horror and the terror of war. And it kind of strikes me that many of those people who were fighting to the death in Stalingrad, just a million people died. I'm sure there were atheists, and I'm sure that there were, theists fighting to the death, and they thought that what they were doing was moral and ethical, solve all the problems for all of mankind, and they'd say, "We did it. I sacrificed my life to solve this riddle that so many people seem to struggle with, whatever that riddle might be." But once I try to avoid it as much as possible, because if you're around violence, you could die. And so I prefer the comfort of my house full of books and conference calls where people can't punch me in the nose. But it just strikes me as amazing that people waste so much time having irrelevant conversations over and over again, repeating themselves endlessly as if it's like a video game that they just love, or one of their favorite movies like Terminator 2 or Back to the Future. And it just amazes me as I observe human behavior, and lonely and not creative people are pretty lame. I don't know what they're afraid of or what they're hiding. But maybe you're right, Ray. Maybe these faggot atheists are just pedophile loser faggots. It's just my opinion.
I'm still gonna give you an applause. Theatrical, yeah. I don't know. Maybe these these non-believers, they just do so many weird things, and like I'm not weird at all myself. Maybe I go out there and I look at everybody and I observe everybody, and I'm not the not one bit. Not me. It was good though. I liked the message, and I thought it was even good comedic timing, the way he dropped that gotcha at the end as a punchline. I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it an 8, like a 7.9. 7.9. Thought it was good because I did agree with the message. I thought it was pretty poignant, and I agreed with it, most of it. That was cool. So thanks, Progressive. His name's
John. John Kitlover.
John. Okay.
John Kitlover. Get it right.
Cause Ray was like seemed like, and I don't, I don't blame or fault her, but she was seeming a little bit, elevated with me and you earlier. So it was just nice and refreshing,
John Kitover. Sorry.
Yeah, well, whatever your name is, progressive, liberal, thank you so much for everything. Appreciate it. I guess that's why progressive liberals exist, is to bring poetry, meaning, carrying hands, So thanks. Really appreciate that, progressive.
You're welcome. Ray, I'd like to read a poem to these atheist faggot pedophiles who are extremely bored and lonely and who are uncreative. They don't create anything. They just to kick guys like me to the goo or kick me from the rooms to make their self-esteem feel better. Like Honey, he'll say, "Oh yeah, John Kitover, he comes up here, I love it. He says a poem, and then he just like leaves and goes back down to the goo." But that's because Honey is actually a very effeminate man who doesn't have resilience or can't, even have a conversation with somebody, even if it's an irreverent conversation. Because the truth is, Honey is a very fragile person. He's very weak. He has no real strength and no real joy. And as a progressive liberal, I feel it's incumbent upon me to help these young men that the system failed, to make them stronger, to give them the joy and the wisdom that they are lacking as faggot pedophiles and abusers and lonely people and non-creative people. I feel it's my calling in life to help these faggot retards.
Thank you again, progressive, and I do appreciate your input. And I've been writing a lot of this now, so I'm gonna review this later tonight after I get back from church and take in what you've shared with us to improve my vision. Thank you.
And not one person will think that you are a lunatic and a fucking weirdo yourself, progressive. Not one person is gonna think that. You're not fucking weird. You're not some fucking bizarre. Nope. Not you.
And I do wish you well. I hope your stand-up paddleboarding exploits are a service to you and others in your community. I know you have been running for Congress for quite a while now, and I hope you get in. I hope you made it. Wouldn't you agree, Ray?
Would I agree with what?
That basically when you say that, like if someone says, "Hey, everything that evolved to have water beforehand, it came from water," that would be in line with evolution theory, correct?
Don't try to, Martin. I'm not gonna let you escape the dumb statement you made. So
Well, hold on,
you're trying to.
You don't want to answer that.
Comfort yourself right now.
Well, you don't want to answer that question.
You know it's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Honey, if the human body is 98% water and you weigh 185 pounds, what's the molecular weight of the H2O contained within the cells in the skin of your body?
Like 140 pounds. 160 pounds. All right.
I I'm just making a little joke here. Ray, I just want to thank you in the name of God for having this room. You attract the flies just like horse flies to manure or squirrel poop or honey badger poop. You are like the these mutant moths to the barnyard or to the church or the library or what you might say library. And I just want to read a little poem to all the lonely, non-creative faggot retards. It's called The Devil, and I hope that this helps illuminate you and teaches you a little wisdom about how retarded and how much of a faggot. To this key of grotesque and terrible aspect is attributed mirth. The devil is that horrible character of exoteric dogmatism which is so ridiculous to an enlightened person like Progressive Liberal here on Clubhouse. But deeper than this, the figure represents the delusion of outward appearance. 15 is the opposite of key 6. Hence, it shows what happens to us when we fail to use our faculty of discrimination. The ancients declared that the devil is God inverted. Hello?
They think we don't know any better. They see right through you.
You see right through me? What do you see if I'm transparent? Hello?
You are. You see through, right? Yeah. See through like a motherfucker.
Hello?
All good as snake club.
Well, since you don't like my poetry, maybe I could play you a little song on my Chinese flute as you look through me.
By the way, progressive.
Interact with the stupidest fucking people.
What's your degree in?
I mean, technically I have a bunch, but I have political science.
What
Yeah,
Technically, you have a bunch of different. I've heard anybody say that before.
Yeah, I have a political science, I have a journalism, and I have a generalized theology degree.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, I use my theology degree, and I used to use my political science degree.
What career do you have?
I teach intro classes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Marble, college. I don't feel comfortable sharing that information.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Hi, this is Progressive Liberal. I'd like to say something about the title of the room, if I may, moderators.
Progressive. Of course. Go on.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Hi, moderators. Thanks for having me on your stage. With regards to Muslims being saved, I just want to say that to a Christian, it's not really that important to say.
I hold it like a champ. I just thanked him a lot, and I was very. Thanks.
What did you do? You just sit there.
It was pretty funny. I mean, he actually, I was doing applause because it was pretty funny. Talking to somebody else who was a believer. Here's the Muslim walking
told. I worry what the future holds.
So I just come out of there and I come in here to Baghdadi too.
Well, since you don't want to hear my opinion about the room title,
Come to the conclusion that you have the evidence to justify the claim that God does exist and that you know He exists.
Yes, I have the evidence.
I'd love to hear it.
The evidence is us here now. That's it.
Oh my God. Look at the tree. Yeah. Look at the clouds. Look at the moon.
That is horrible. Baghdadi, it's evidence of Brahma.
A lot of evidence.
Hey, is it evidence of Brahma?
A lot of
I love the
attitude.
cheesy made it a song. Look at the trees. Look at the birds.
Look at my dirty knees, I fall down when I climb these trees. I get when I look in the sky at the birds that fly by. I get dizzy in a haze from climbing these trees. Trees, thank goodness
Atheists and
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Now he told
The
prove
funny
his
thing
position.
is-
He's going to go into attack mode. Okay, come on then.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
the funny thing that we have in common is that we both agree that the magic happened.
No magic. Zero magic.
It just happened without a magician.
No
magic.
Yeah.
We just believe it was
Nobody
a
believes in magic.
We both believe the magic happened though.
There
Dilute
is
no
no magic.
Not magic.
Dilute the
There's
identical
only
universal more with them and dilute
It happened.
reality.
Brother said Houdini was a great magician, guys. He wasn't in fact a real. He did in fact.
He died.
He's gonna pivot to evolution. He's gonna pivot to evolution. I totally know what's
One of them he tried to trick people with, he died from, so he wasn't the greatest.
We call that karma's a bitch.
Karma's a
I want to talk to Baghdadi about the fact that we exist as mammals. Would you say we're animals, Baghdadi?
I would say we're whatever we are.
Are we animals?
We're whatever we are.
Are we animals?
I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say not.
I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say that we're not animals.
I would say whatever we are. You know, it's just how you want to look at it.
Definitely give her the option. Money, power,
Hey, let's see what's going on, Viv. What'd you say, Viv? What's going on?
Nothing to say. Hiroshima.
Oh, okay. You're still in the States then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about ranch dressing?
Oh, that really fuck with it.
Have you tried?
This bullshit calories.
Ranch dressing is garbage, by the way. So no, like apparently there's a thing.
allow myself to introduce myself.
No shit. This is not who you think it is. No, not who you think it is. This is our next president in chief.
I just came to participate in a happy hour.
And you're making our sad.
I brought my Chinese flute.
I definitely feel like when you went to high school, there were some unresolved sexual assault charges.
Projection mirror says what? The projection detection system has been activated.
Okay. So Viv. Did you try to target?
See, in America, ranch dressing is best used on a chopped salad or to dip your pizza in.
I have dipped my crust in ranch dressing. I've done Have we really nothing else to talk about?
Let's talk about this. Full size paper up,
Otherwise, you're gonna have
interesting. You have an opinion? I've never actually done it with intention.
Let's do a quick toilet paper survey. Who here uses a baby wipe after they drop a deuce at 8 a.m. and in a separate garbage?
You do.
get the flush.
Yeah, that's actually it's not really that right.
I do.
They don't break down the same way paper does.
Yes, but I don't use them every day, so it allows time for them to flow through.
I feel like a bidet is much better choice.
You can tell that I'm with you there.
Your ass and like wherever the hell your spray is. I mean, you gotta get used to that. No. No. What do you mean? Have you ever taken a shower? Not used to water on your body? What is that?
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Happy Hour, where Clownhouse users are affirming that they have shit on their ass right at this moment.
Except for now.
Why would you let that live there?
At first, Jason Austin, it wasn't like all shocking.
No, it was like nice, comfortable spray. Let it move. Oh, that's nice. And then there's a little dryer and it dries it. The spray's warm.
Oh, you have a dryer too.
Yeah, it's got a little hair dryer and stuff. And
Interesting.
it's got does the whole thing. It's just self-warming.
Oh, that's a fancy one. Danelle, do you have a bidet?
Bidet, the guy doesn't even have a bathtub. He's got a walk-in shower.
I'm gonna be honest, if I get the parasite, I'll be very happy to have that bidet.
Everybody's talking about this explosive diarrhea salad parasite. Fake news. It was alleged. It was presumptuous of the CDC to diagnose America with explosive diarrhea.
And it's a pandemic, I guess.
Robert Kennedy,
Not even called it a pandemic.
at the CDC conference call, Kennedy was like, "We got a problem with explosive diarrhea. The salad's all infected with E. coli and everybody's getting explosive diarrhea."
Listen, do you have a girlfriend, John?
Projection mirror says what?
Do you have a girlfriend?
If I had a girlfriend, would I be in a conference call called Happy Hour instead of having her sit on my face right now?
Great question, by the way.
You have a wife, not a girlfriend.
Can you answer that, Austin?
Austin, I've been divorced 140 times. I'm currently single. Are you a matchmaker? Because I'm looking for a matchmaker that specializes in neurodivergent faggot retards. Who goes by Austin Powers in 2026? He's been
I'll
proven
give
to be a faggot retard.
I'm not matching with you. But so look, you just requested to be matched with faggot retards. What's the most faggoty retarded thing about you?
There's so much I don't even know where to start. Maybe the
Just start at the beginning.
well, I'm bald. I'm bald, so you know a lot of people like to say catfish, but now they're calling it bald fish. Yeah, the top. I'm starting at the top. I'm bald.
I mean, about not your
I'm
appearance,
beautiful.
about the spirit. What makes you the most faggoty retard?
Oh, my faggot retard spirit. Well, I like to call it a HAP or an EAP, which are an acronym for a highly annoying person or an extremely annoying person. And I think if you observe my behavior and cross compare it with the behavior of other people on this app, you will find out that I am actually not a highly annoying person. That could be you. Annoying person, but not
That's
me.
fair, but-
Hello? David, welcome to the room.
Yeah, John, as you're pointing out there, but that's just a relative comparison. So, of course, when you're doing it like that, you're gonna find that. So let's go back to what you want for your 141st ex-wife.
Wait, you've been divorced before, Chicago?
Yeah, according to Maimonides, my favorite Jewish rabbi, I'm a divorcee 140 times over because every woman you've ever slept with is technically your cosmic wife.
Really?
No, your hand doesn't count.
That's fucked up, by the way.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point, though.
Well, cosmically made to have an experience with. It's not important how old I am, Dr. Powers.
I guess 35, right?
No.
Let's see, Lord,
He's definitely older than that. He's mid-40s.
Yeah.
Or low 50s.
40.
I'm 43, and if you want to see my social security tattooed on my arm, if you want to see it.
43 minus 18. All right, so it's 25, right? Now,
Division.
yeah, so...
David, welcome to Happy Hour. What are you drinking, Dr. David?
So,
Chicago, have you been
John,
to... I'm going to Paris
never been
next
to
week. Do
long-term
you have any recommendations in Paris?
Oh, go to the Bourgeois cafe, and then go to the Proletariat nightclub.
Can you send me the link?
John, have you ever been in a long-term relationship?
Austin,
Not define long-term.
I've been engaged, and yes, I've been in long-term love affairs, Austin. What's your point, Doctor?
I'm just trying to figure out your numbers here, because, it looks like you were getting married and divorced every 2 months since you were 18.
Well, what's
So you're
important?
denying that he has 140? Is that what you're saying?
No, he says he has 140 ex-wives. That would require him every 2 months to get married and divorced.
That's also your IQ score. Wow.
David, when are we going to the hockey game, buddy?
With all due respect, I probably wouldn't invite you.
Oh, thank you very little.
John, I'm going to challenge you to do something kind for a stranger.
Well, I've already done that actually. I got one of well, I won't go into too many details, but I did an act of charity this morning.
You, didn't talk to someone else on the elevator?
No, I was a gentleman and I helped someone in a bind.
Okay, so Chicago, if you don't have any Paris, do you have any recommendations in London?
Oh yeah, go to the Playboy Club and see my ex-wife. Her name is
Rose
Rose
Mayfair. I've been to
Marhata.
that. I've been there.
She's a key girl. She's an absolute perfect 10. Her name is Rose Marhata.
She's a London 10. So
After I stoop.
Yeah, so I've been with more than a few girls from London, but none of them were British. They were all
London Bridge is falling down.
yeah. No offense to anybody in the room who's British, but these British girls, not so much.
Wow.
What do you mean?
So a London 10 is like a New York London 10.
No.
Like, what do you mean? London 10 is like a New York City 5.
David,
So you're from New York, right? New York City 5? That's giving whatever.
David, when was the last time you had sex and you didn't have to pay for it?
I don't have to answer that question. When has anyone ever had it not paid for it? Ever?
That's actually a good question. FYI.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm wondering how David views
The
love.
question is, when have you had it and not regretted it?
That's actually a good question too.
That's a good
Sort of.
question.
Yeah.
I've heard if you want to fuck her in the ass, that's how you know you love her.
Wow.
Nah, man, I'm not about. I
That's not one of those good.
No, that's not a great question.
What if you want to fuck her in the ass and you realize that in this scenario, you are the ass?
Yeah, man. Once you go there, it's all over. Like, it's downhill, in my opinion. But go ahead.
No, I agree. But I've seen some porno videos that made me rethink some of my past former sexual. And I thought to myself, you know what? I would like to have tried that position with that person.
Wait, so Albert, do you have any recommendations for me? You got, with a little bit of surgery, you could get that confident voice you're going for.
I've already shaved down my vocal cords.
When I'm in Paris or London, do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, enjoy it. It's great, but don't go.
Well, yeah, I know. I've been there.
David, here's my recommendation for you. Update your Hinge settings to Paris, then London, and so have your...
I don't use Hinge.
Well, this is what you need to do. This is the recommendation. Because once you download Hinge and you do your photo verify and then you update your geolocation to Paris and London and you start swiping right, well, now you've built up a little social network. Kind of like a faggot retards that waste all their time and are bored and lonely and don't create anything called Clown House. Something you're very familiar with. Hello?
See, that was just straight up mean, man. Why are you being mean?
Yeah, that's not nice. That's not nice.
Because when people come to me for advice, I give them good advice. But if they don't take my advice, well, then they just confirm my diagnosis of faggot retard. Hello?
Nice, man. Were you dropped as a child? Like, did your mommy not love you?
Sergio, I actually have a recommendation, David, but I'll give it to you in private.
Yeah.
A scam. Better than a Playboy cup.
Man, I don't know. I mean, there's no, like, do you not like him? And then, I mean, it's okay, but to be mean, that's not cool.
Oh, well, David was asking for some unfiltered advice. I thought I'd share some good ideas with him, but he's a lazy
What's up, Austin?
faggot retard.
Tried to hook line, but you did not accept. Oh, I'm sorry. Do it again.
David's the kind of guy who's so lazy he doesn't even have a Hinge account. And then when I look at my friends' Hinge accounts, they are so lazy they don't even message the girls with. I say just copy and paste a response. You're not even talking to people. God, you're fucking lazy. So welcome back to Happy Hour.
Oh, and now he's gone?
They just wanted to share some gay little locations about where they can have
He's
their
gay, obviously, right?
best little gay sex.
Hey.
I don't know. I don't think so.
I have no idea. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Yeah, he can orgasm in Paris however he chooses to orgasm. I'm not interested in his orgasm news.
Why are you so interested in calling him a piece of shit?
I didn't call him a piece of shit.
You kind of did, man.
But I didn't say he's a piece of shit, did I?
No.
I did not. That's your interpretation. That's your assumption.
That's my direct way of listening to you, talk to other people. It's very simple. That's how I do it.
Oh, that's your observation of my behavior.
It seemed like you don't remember being simple to him.
Well, what did I say? What did I say that was so insulting to David Bobadilla?
I don't know what you said to him. You called him a fag and whatever, right?
Oh, a faggot retard is a term of endearment nowadays.
Okay, wonderful.
Haven't you ever been to a happy hour? Oh, I'm sorry. I got my happy hour events mixed up. I thought this was the LGBTQAI plus happy hour. My bad, boys.
That's actually pretty funny. Go ahead. Keep going. I don't know why you're being
So I'm just saying that, like, if you've never looked up LGBTQIA plus and you don't know what the plus, twin flame. It comes from a 1990s indigenous tribe that had rotating work assignments for both males and females. It's called twin love. Plus inclusive.
have a creative mind, bro, which is good. I hope you're using it. Like, it's fun to listen, sort of. I hope it's productive.
Oh, it's super productive. It's more productive than David Bobadilla. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Moscow. I'm going to Moscow on Friday. Have any recommendations for me?
Left on your ass, bro. I don't know why they left, but it's cool. I would rather you not just badger people, but go ahead.
This is a happy hour, Albert. You know, people are here to take some shots, relax a little. They ran off to their little private. They'll be back. They got nothing better to do. Why do you think they were here? They got nothing to do.
No, maybe they want to have some interesting shit, man. Not be berated or bullshitted. That's not, like, I don't know if that's in your vernacular.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So you got all of these degrees on your wall, and then you slow all of a sudden doing a company. One can tell the truth.
I answered your question. I said yes.
You don't want to tell the truth, so just.
I don't have a problem with the truth. I
don't
don't.
want to tell the truth, so just keep quietly.
I just felt.
Because you're saying, oh, when this morning? No, yesterday.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
We have Mayor candidate John Kitover on the show. Hey everyone, welcome to John Kitover.
Hello? Hello? Hey, this is mayoral candidate John Kitover. Hey, Max, how are you doing, sir? How's the campaign coming along?
The TV show is great. John, you did something that's very unorthodox, but also there's some throwbacks. There's a lot of former Governor Mike Huckabee would play the saxophone. Bill Clinton famously would join up on stage too with saxophone and guitar. Can you tell the audience on your decision to start the John Kitover band in the middle of your mayor's race?
It's right. Every time I go out on a Friday or Saturday night and I film a band, I automatically label them the John Kitover Band on YouTube.
Brilliant. So kind of like a Wu-Tang Clan situation where there's different iterations, different clans, every Thursday. That's it, John. How are you feeling? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Rocky. I've always liked Rocky Road. I love the marshmallow, the fudge, the walnut. I mean, who doesn't like a good Rocky Road?
To keep things light, what are your thoughts on bacon?
Well, Rabboni Shalom, I heard they have a New York City subway down there below the Gaza Strip, and they're still shifting munitions and fighting. Why can't we just have peace in the world? Rabboni Shalom. Shawarma for everybody!
It's called halal buckets. They sell like Gaza chicken strips. I think that's very clever as a dish.
Nice.
But, no, I was calling you, there's what's it called? Tish-Bob. On the white party at Guantanamo.
Rabboni Shalom, I want to meet a hot brunette Jewish chick named Tish.
It's a single
funny
Tish with
is,
a tush.
actually, it's the date that I got married. And should have got married on, which that was the big mistake because we got married on the holiday portion.
Uh-huh.
But the after portion is supposed to be very romantic, you know. But no, yeah. Aaron Del Mar in the news.
Yeah, for what?
We'll find out.
What, the lawsuit?
Lawsuits. It's the David Pritchard suing him too.
For what?
For like so, like the whole. You know you saw the video of the whole guy getting arrested.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
think they have a argument. They probably know more than I do. That like Aaron probably leaned on his Palatine connections to make that happen. Because they're suing the city of Palatine, Aaron, and the guy that called it in. Because like there probably might have been enough to charge it. I don't know, but they charged him with assault. That's crazy. He got found not guilty, by the way. And I was at the trial. He live streamed it, but that judge looked like he wanted to kill himself the entire time. He's like, "This is so embarrassing." He told both sides to shut up. You're hurting your case. Stop talking. Like, and when I look at the judge, his name is Nowitzki. He's one of those judges that they got demoted for. He basically was murdering. He was like domestic court judge, and like two people he puts like slaps on the wrists on, like during domestic violence trials. They end up like murdering their spouses or significant others, and so they demoted him. And so he was on freaking Dave Pritchard Palatine GOP trial, like kill me, like the entire time, hands on the face, like smirking, angry contempt, yelling at all the lawyers. So it's pretty interesting. But basically, I talked to he texted me straight up. They're suing Aaron. And are we on the podcast?
Yeah, you're live on the clown. You're live on the clown show in the clown world.
I want to break some news. Break some news. There's some news that we're getting that this lawsuit is actually funded by Brian Castle because he's upset that Aaron removed his son from the
From the clown world.
But really, all politics, all politics is local. That's not true. All politics is petty.
Welcome to Clown World.
Tell them what you want. What's the word of the day? Word of the day.
Oh man, that's exciting news.
Live, man. Very exciting news. And I got to write some articles. Got my new startup company. I'm very excited about. And life's good.
What's our Polymarket investment fund doing this for the rest of the year? I think we're gonna make some bets on Polymarket.
No, I'm sitting in Kalshi, and I've just been earning like the 4%. I haven't made a bet in I made a bunch of March Madness bets, and I think I won by. I basically bet on a bunch of different teams, and I think I came out on top by like 10%. Let's say. Let's say I put in 500, I made 550. And we're gonna. So my biggest bet I made was off Bob Trietti. I made $250 off him. I fucked up without telling you that. And so basically, Bob Trietti was trading at 75 cents, but he had Andy Williams was his only running.
Oh my gosh.
So that was that's the thing with Polymarket and Kalshi is the key is like look for the micro markets, like markets that have less than $10,000, $15,000 in it, and then try to find the Bob Trietti stuff that just is it doesn't make sense because it's so small. And the difference between Kalshi and Polymarket is you're more likely to see that on Kalshi. But basically, you have to put up the money to make the market versus Kalshi. Kalshi puts up their own money to make the markets. So basically, like the community is like, hey, I want to put a market for a mayor's race, whatever, and then Kalshi has to give the green light. Versus Polymarket, I'm pretty sure you on your own. Like you can say, will John Kitover be mayor? And then for that, that could be interesting too, is because I think the opportunity for you to make money is maybe you can kind of be a market maker. Nothing maker. Do you know what Harpo? That was my favorite from the Marx Brothers, dude. I love a huge Harpo fan.
I was just
Oh,
reading.
Jerry Lewis.
I was just.
Pretty lady. Yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis. Oh my God, he ended up being a total jerk. Did you see? I saw a video of his daughters.
All the charity people are open.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
heard
he's a
that.
weirdo.
I heard Bob Hope
And,
that.
and his movies don't like. He basically was the Adam Sandler of his time, but like his movies don't. They don't like stand the test of time. Like I could watch Duck Soup tomorrow or Animal Crackers and like laugh my ass off.
I've got DVDs on Marx Brothers, but you know who they say? You know that movie Eyes Wide Shut by Kubrick?
Yeah, great movie.
They say that.
It's okay movie.
They say that the guy who was throwing the like elite sex parties, that's supposed to be Bob Hope.
Yeah, they say that. Yeah, they say Bob Hope was a bad man with all the USO stuff and going overseas. Like, think about how much more shit you can do in the war zones.
That like if there is some kind of like elite cult or something like that, like they say.
You know about that happened in Serbia and the Kosovo when they basically there's the allegation they basically elite people were paying. There was that war going on, that conflict in Yugoslavia, whatever, and like rich people were paying money to just. Do you hear about that?
Yeah. It took 750,000 Soviets that died in battle to kill 250,000 Germans in Stalingrad.
Not surprised.
So 1 million people died in bloody glory for.
Yeah, they wanted them to die because they.
For what?
So the commies just don't care about really giving them more. You get a rifle, you get some ammunition. It was complete bullshit, and because they really think that like the central planning, whatever, the central committee, like the GOP, like should have all the power and like should plan everything. And it's hard to plan everything because there's so many people. So that's why all the commies always go depopulation route, or like the education camp route. And
Yeah, I mean it's true. You wipe out your future political enemies in the mass casualty battle. But anyways, I was going through a book today. But yeah. So the campaign to elect the antidote. And
when can you make it official? Because then I think you should start like texting Shia and really get some press.
It's official when I start putting up videos of me collecting signatures.
Yeah, when are you gonna make your file?
There's no file, as you said. I just submit my petitions. That's it.
If you're never gonna submit your, well, I guess you are. You're gonna submit like 3 petition sheets.
Yeah.
But a candidate for a month. I think you should try to.
No, I'll submit. I'm gonna submit. Like I'm gonna get a couple petition sheets and go downtown and just submit. That's it.
Smart. And I'll be writing after you get kicked off.
Absolutely.
I want to get writing for as many things as possible. And there's a chance I might run for alderman. Because I feel like an alderman. I don't know. Maybe it was such a waste of time.
I'm gonna do a lot of publicity. I'm gonna shoot a lot of videos at the Thomas Jefferson Copper Memorial, Bronze Memorial, and I'm gonna have my petition sheets there. I'm gonna say, if you live in Chicago and you are a patriot, come to Jefferson Park today to meet candidate John and sign the petition to liberate Chicago on the Constitution held by Thomas.
Yeah, and I think you should be the leader of like a movement. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be a movement. It's basically like
gotta be a movement.
Starting like a political cult.
That I can walk. Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, look at Marx and Engels. Marx and Engels kept saying that it's not the bourgeois that's going to lead the revolution; it's the pro.
If there's any hope, it's with the proles.
So I gotta connect. That's why I've decided to go full on LGBTQ. AI plus, because I realize that I need as many votes as possible. So I'm going to embrace what I consider to be illegal and unethical and immoral behavior, which is same-sex orgasm or attempting to have sex.
That's why I say you should run for office. Because you force you to sell out to win, college. But I support it.
Because
do you, man.
you see, there's so many fat, ugly faggots in the LGBTQAI plus movement that they can't even achieve orgasm. So they're not actually gay because they can't
It's not a
successfully.
community, dude. It's not. You know what I'm saying?
What do
Like,
you
I'm
mean?
not-
They got Pride Month. That's
like,
the
I'm
month
in
of
push-ups, I'm in
action.
the push-up community. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, am I in the push-up community now? Can I do push-ups?
Well, if you go to a
It's fucking
gym,
ridiculous, man.
you know, I realized today I was at the gym and I was like, I would rather invest in people or hot chicks that come to this gym than socialize on Clown House with a bunch of losers who repeat themselves all day, every day, and do the same stupid shtick.
Smart. 100%. Your mind's in the right place.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute, I have a community here at the gym, and I'm not even meeting all the hot chicks that I see like every day. Why don't I introduce
And a lot of them
myself?
have similar interests. There was a girl that was very good looking in my gym, but I was engaged in time, so I wasn't entertaining anything. I thought she was like wearing Trump stuff out of nowhere. Like, you never know.
Yeah, I saw a hot chick at the gym with a black Trump MAGA hat. Like, couldn't tell it was a MAGA hat unless you looked really carefully.
I feel like the gyms are like a lean way right. And there's like a few like random Kaepernick types. Like a dude who's a lesbian at my gym that will be like who's eating all the pussy? Who ate all the pussy? Like she'll wear that shirt to the gym. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit vulgar. But the point being is I do think gyms are like 70% conservative values, wouldn't you say? 60, even in Chicago.
There's a lot of liberals at the gym, but
A lot of Republicans in my gym.
there's
You never
a
expect
lot of
Republicans.
Latinos at my gym. A lot. I hear Spanish.
Interesting. But yeah, you're a little west. Little west. You know, a little Spanish, not that much Spanish.
So I
It's like
think
Jewish,
I'm gonna
Indian,
file.
Pakistani.
I'm gonna file August 10th.
Is that a date I'm having on August 10th?
No, Rabbanu Shalom. 10, not 11. 10, not 9.
Okay, let's do it. I'm excited. 10
Yeah.
is a very halachic number.
Yeah.
10 commandments.
Yeah, 10 Sephiroth. 10 divine lights of emanation. Rabbanu
Exactly.
Shalom.
Exactly. 10 Sephiroth, man.
I read the
That's,
I read the 10 Commandments on the rooftop at Chabad, and I was like, I took a photo of it, and then the next day I was talking with these atheist faggot retards on Clown House, and I was blown away at how angry they got, and then also how logical the 10 Commandments are, and how they can't really like get around.
No. It's like don't disrespect God. They get like really offended by that. It's like really you want us to respect all your bullshit, all the pronouns, all the like microaggressions. But like which I think because the Bible is the ultimate truth, that it is like a vinegar baking soda situation. It like repels. And Job 20:28 is that understanding that the foundation of wisdom is the belief in the Lord, and that compelling evil is understanding. The foundation of wisdom is belief in the Lord, and compelling evil is understanding. And so that's why people don't realize that, like, when you're talking shit to one of these heathens, like, you're not. It's like no different than just like doing a chore. Like you're doing, you should always do so out of love when you're talking to these people. But that's kind of why, like, you have to realize that you're doing them a favor, and you can't let them suck your time too much. That's why I don't go to the Clown House. I don't hate those atheists. They're just idiots.
Oh, I like mocking them, but they say if you have a ladies, they say to study Torah because then you become irresistible.
Who said that?
It's like in a hymn or in a maxim book that I read. Like, if you want to become irresistible, read the Bible.
Yeah. You don't want to attract a bunch of Jezebels. You'll like attracts like. It's absolutely a good move. It's never been a bad thing to study Torah. It also enhances all the mitzvahs. Because a lot of people, including atheists, they do good things by accident. So, like, why not? Like, I'm sure you or me, like, I've accidentally cooked a good dish all the time. Because, like, I'm a home chef. I do my thing. But if I actually took it seriously and like learned recipes, that would enhance.
Well,
so just because like we like intuitively know